Hey everybody, the stadium says it all. It's time for some football again.
I'm trying to see what stadium that is. What is that?
I'm not sure. It's not the Cowboy Stadium because it's open air.
No. Is it
Uh
it's
no
not
roof.
Indianapolis, it's not the Colts.
Uh
It's not is it the Rams? No.
I don't know.
College? I don't know. Who cares?
Could be. It's a big stadium though.
It is a
But
big stadium. Yeah, but it almost looks like a soccer stadium.
yeah, but I mean as long as they got people in the stands, you know what it's ready for. It's ready for football. I
Yeah,
can't
we've
believe the
got
season's on us already.
it is. It starts this weekend. We know we've had preseason. I don't care about preseason. Like I personally think preseason is the biggest waste I've ever seen. It's essentially a practice for people and to bring revenue in. I understand the idea of like, oh, they're
Yeah.
getting back on the field. And I'm like, but then you got preseason injuries. I think it's dumb. So the NFL though officially starts this coming weekend. We just got done with Labor Day. I actually am going to my first NFL game. Well, my first NFL game in Texas. I've been to plenty of college games and other sports, but I've never been to an NFL game in Texas because I'm not a Cowboys fan, so who cares?
Yeah.
Um, but Luke and I are going on October 13th. Lions versus Cowboys here in DFW. I'm stoked. And I know it's expensive. Like it's the most expensive ticket out there. And I'm not looking to pay astronomical dollars for these tickets. If it was just me and my boys, we just get the standing room only tickets. They're like 50
Right.
bucks,
Right.
stand, drink. I can't do that with Luke. Okay. I'm not gonna.
Right. Right.
And I will tell you, and people watching are gonna be like, oh my God, Brandon. I'm like, but it's pretty cheap when you think about it.
Yeah.
We paid about 300 bucks for the two of us to go. Now, to me, that's a moment, that's a core memory. He's allegedly a Cowboys fan. He was born in Texas, so I guess we'll find out. Once he gets older, we'll let him. I'm not going to sway him either way, but I did tell him. He was like, "Dad, you're not a Cowboys fan." I said, "Yeah, I'm not, buddy, but I'm a Lions fan."
Hey, if you're
So,
going to see the Lions, wear your Lions gear.
oh, what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going
Of
full blown,
course.
baby. I don't care. I'd be the dude, and I won't be the only one in the stadium in Lions gear. Let's
Yeah,
be real.
that's right.
But even if I was, I'll stand there tall. I don't care. Um, but he goes, well, Dad, I'm a Cowboys fan. I said, that's great, buddy. You wear Cowboy stuff. Like, cheer for your team. He goes, well, man, what if the Lions beat us? I go, then I'm going to talk so much crap to you about it all the way home. And he's like, well, that's me. And I'm like, no, baby, that's football. Okay.
That's
And
right.
and
Yeah.
and he's like, he goes, but I'm your son. And I'm like, not that day. I don't even know who you are. You're a stranger, you know? You're just a kid, you don't even matter. And then he's
Look,
like, he goes, well, what if the Cowboys win? I go, then I expect you to do the same thing to me.
that's right. Look, tell her it's the best of both worlds. Your roots, your genes are from Detroit. So if the Lions win, you win.
I
If
win.
the Cowboys win, you live in
He's
Dallas, you win. So
he's happy and I'm so it's a cool experience, but tickets are ridiculous. We don't even have the best seats. Like, and I was looking up some information. The average price of an NFL ticket in 2023 was $121 per ticket. One ticket, $121. That's to get in the door. Okay. Now, there are other tickets like, that are highest. The highest ticket average for a team was the Las Vegas Raiders, $169 per ticket. One ticket to get in the door.
that's what a standing room only ticket.
No, it's not standing room only. I looked at it. It's they're not great seats, but that's and you got different like Arizona Cardinals. Their average is $998.
Yeah.
Chicago Bears $130. Honestly, they should be paying people to go watch the Bears, but hey. Um, yeah, so I mean it's high, but then tickets over the last 15 years keep going up. They're not capping. They keep going up. And I'm looking at it going, all right, let's say, okay, it's me and Luke. That's $300, right? Parking. I'm not
That's-
going to park. I'm not parking out in Narnia with a 6-year-old. So I'm going to park semi reasonable walking distance, $50. $350. We just got in the door. We haven't bought anything yet. You buy it, you buy a Coke. Like, I'm just talking with my son. You buy a Coke, we'll get a big one, we'll split. That's $13.
and make sure you ask for no ice.
No ice. So that's $363. I got a Coke. We get something to eat. We both get, maybe both get a dog. Okay. That's another $20. We're at almost $400. We're going to get something else. We might get chips or whatever. That's another $20. We are over $400 conservatively if we just stick to that plan, dude.
Yeah. And you're going to take, how old is Luke now?
6.
6. Yeah. Now you're going to take a 6-year-old and he's going to be passing all of those souvenir shops.
Well, I'm not. Yeah. Now, I will say this: he's pretty good. I mean, we've gone to in FC Dallas. I buy everything because I'm like a kid in a candy store at FC Dallas. But like, we've gone to the Rangers games, and those are. I mean, I got lucky enough to get free tickets, but those were, I didn't really I didn't really spend a lot there. He didn't really look at the souvenirs there, so it's not. He's pretty good. He is. He just wants to munch on something and eat some stuff he's not supposed to,
Well, there's a couple things that he can munch on. Now, if you want, you can get a Dallas Cowboys logo nacho bowl. And all.
What is it like?
$33. Doesn't matter what it's like.
For nachos?
For nachos in a little bowl that's got a Cowboys logo.
Star?
Yeah. $33. Now, Hershey's, got to give them props, man. They were using those little mini Hershey minis, the Crackle and the Mr. Goodbar and
Yeah.
the you can buy a bag of that in any football stadium. And what they've done is they've taken the basic Hershey's milk chocolate one and they wrapped it in a team logo. So you can buy a bag of Hershey minis.
You're just gonna throw those away. You're just throwing those away.
There are 117 pieces in the bag. $40.
Jesus.
Now, if you go with a group, you can get the big size. 1,400 pieces for $380.
Nobody's buying that. Nobody's buying that. What are we doing?
Now, here, I'm going to share on the screen so that this will knock your socks off. This is one of the new offerings that they got for this year at Cowboys Stadium. That's a pizza burger.
It looks gross, dude.
Can you see
it
it?
honestly looks, I see it. It doesn't look good.
2 small pepperoni pizzas, and in between it is a burger with lettuce and tomato and sauce and cheese and all. I don't know how much it is. It's going to be an arm and a leg, I'm sure, but Jiminy Christmas, a new pizza burger.
No, that's disgusting. Nobody's eating that.
I mean, in the old days, a pizza burger meant put a piece of pizza cheese on it. But this is actually, they replaced the bun with 2 small pepperoni pieces.
And I'm looking at the NFL and I'm comparing it to other sports. And it's just, we've talked about concerts, and they are the most expensive, obviously. And they do have good food. That's not one of them, but they do have good food. But the point is, you're dropping a $300-400 before you even really get in the door, and to go to the game, and
right, for your seat and for the parking, just to get there before the opening kickoff, you're already in debt.
Yeah, and then you got so then you look at beers. Now, I typically don't drink beers when I go to sporting events, except for FC Dallas because they're cheap, and then they, like your soccer, and I could have walked home,
Yeah.
But I usually don't. And when I go with Luke, I never get a beer. I'm not going to enjoy it. I don't want to do it. I just don't care. But the crappy beers, okay, the crappy Miller Lights, 70%, well, 66.6% water beers. You get one, it's $18 for a large one.
Is it now up to $18 now?
Now, they said there are some spots in the arena that have them for 13. Oh, what a freaking deal, right?
Yeah.
But God forbid you get, craft. Now, mind you, when I throw up my craft quotations, this is Walmart craft, okay? I'm not going to throw any breweries under the bus, Karbach, but it is Walmart craft beer. So you got some Hopadillo, Karbach Rodeo Clown, owned by InBev anyway.
Yeah.
You've got them, and you go to Rangers and you want a Karbach, that's $14. $14 for a Karbach when it, like, what are we doing? So I used to bartend as a side gig at AT&T Stadium. Not for Cowboys games. I did it for concerts. I did it for a couple other. I did it for a soccer match, and I just signed up. It was fun money, like especially like as I was just married, and Luke wasn't even out of the womb yet.
Yeah.
And we made, as a bartender, we would make $20 an hour, not including tips. So, because you never knew where you were going to get placed in the stadium. Now, I had a good reputation, and I got placed in good places. I made big money. Matter of fact, the George Strait concert, one of his last concerts, I made $1,300 that night, not including my hour. So I did a mortgage payment in one night. It was great.
Yeah.
And then I made money and all that, but they charge you, just to tell people, if you want a, Crown and Coke, $13. You want a double? It's $26. They didn't just do, like, typically speaking, if you do a double at a bar, they're not doubling the price. It's usually 1.5. They might say, okay, it's if the normal's 9, it's going to be 15. They're not going to charge you 18. Jerryland, 8, double everything. If you wanted an extra plastic straw, they charged you for it. And I'm not talking throwaway. I'm talking hard plastic. They charge you. And if the bartender was like, I'm going to give you one, they took it out of your tips. $5 a straw. They took it out of your tips.
Unbelievable.
They had the souvenir cups. If you were short one souvenir cup, $10. They took it out of your tips. It's crazy. So they are raking in the cash. They're not winning football games, but they're raking in the cash. How do people afford it? I was remembering back in the day, I went to watch the Bulls play at the United Center.
Yeah.
Now you Chicago.
Right.
When you're at the United Center, you don't park on the street, okay?
No.
You don't do that.
In fact, you always take public transportation.
Yeah, and if you do park, you don't park anywhere but the gated lots. You do not, because that is not in the best neighborhood, okay?
Right.
But this was back in like 97, 96 when I went to go see Chicago play. They were charging $42 to park back in 96. Do you know what it costs now?
Yeah. What is it now? Probably $80, $90?
$65 for lots C and K. But you can do advanced parking for $37.
But how far are you from the gate?
I don't know.
Half a mile.
But you know what? They got you. It's like Beirut by the United Center, dude. Like, you better pay in the gate. Like, they got barbed wire fence around the entire thing. Like, you better be.
When I went to see the Cowboys play, the one and only time I was in that stadium, I was amazed at just the tailgaters. There are people that do not buy a ticket for the game. They will pay the $50 or $60 to park in a parking lot. They open up the back of their van and they got their widescreen TV in there and their fold-up chairs and their grill, and they watch the game from the parking lot.
You know what? I got to be honest with you. That's not a bad idea. Because think about it, unless you are on the field or have good seats, you're watching it from a big screen TV anyway, you know?
But why do I want to sit in a parking lot when it's 100 degrees out there or something? When
Yeah, but I mean,
I could be popping out the grill right outside my back door, get my steaks going, and all, and sit and have a seat on the 50-yard line on my big screen TV.
well, you go at the end of the season. Like, I can understand it. Like, you go at the end of the season, you go like in the end of September, October, and the weather actually finally turns. Like, I get
Yeah.
it. I get being like, I don't do it because I don't care about the Cowboys. I could see doing that back in Detroit because, like, now the weather, I mean, although it was 90 there the other day, it's like, it's getting, it's going to be fall, and you can put your hoodie on, drink some brews, hang out with a bunch of Lions fans, have a good time.
Yeah.
I can understand that. I did that for football games. There was several college football games. Like, we didn't get to. I would always try to go to see Michigan State, but sometimes it didn't happen. So we just go tailgate. We just tailgate and just drink and hang out, and right there at the game. But
And back in the day when you went to watch the Lions and I went to watch the Bears, it wasn't football unless you were wearing a parka. You could see your breath. You would have 2 or 3 beers just to warm up. And I mean that was football. When I moved to South Florida, I went to see the Dolphins play. And people are there with sunglasses and shorts and t-shirts, and I'm saying, this ain't football. This is soccer. This ain't football.
Well, you also have that situation too. Like, I mean, the Lions always played inside. They never played outside. So,
Yeah.
we had Pontiac Silverdome, before they actually came back to Detroit. But I saw the Lions play at Green Bay in the middle of a snowstorm. I saw them play, so I mean, but I even think about like tickets, how much they've gone up. It's not just, it's everything. It's the food. It's $45 for a t-shirt, $50 for a t-shirt. And it's not even any like extravagant name. It just says Cowboys.
Fruit of the Loom.
$50.
Cowboys. Yeah.
I think it's ridiculous. I mean, I won't go to a lot of games anyway. If Luke sticks with it and he's into it, I'll try to go to a game a year if I can. And it better be the Lions, but they don't always play,
right.
But I would love to take Luke back to Detroit to go see it.
I was going to say, for the cost of parking and tickets and food,
I could have flown to Michigan.
Here in Dallas, you can probably fly to Detroit and watch the game in Detroit.
Let me tell you something. My tickets to El Salvador were cheaper than the freaking Cowboys game. Okay, like I'm flying to El Salvador in November, and it's cheaper than going to the Cowboys game.
I just don't understand it. I mean, and I mean these are not all white collar people that go to the game. I mean, a guy and his wife and 2 kids go to a game, and they are dropping a month's worth of salary for one game. It's amazing. I think that if you want to get a 50-yard line ticket for the Cowboys, start four digits to start, $1,000 and up for a seat to get close to the field.
And I also think
even the nosebleeds seats are $250 a seat.
Well, it's also Jerryland. Jerryland just messes. He just jacks the prices up on everything anyway. Because I mean, you're talking about other stadiums. You go to other stadiums, and they're still expensive, but they're not as expensive as Jerry.
They just valued his franchise $4 billion.
$4 billion, and they can't win a football game.
Yeah, it's but hey, they got to pay for that stadium. Shimmy, Chris.
And here's the other thing, though. The other thing is too. There's only so many games in the season.
Yeah.
So they got to, when you look at baseball, the average cost of a baseball ticket is about $53. A little more reasonable.
Right.
And honestly, you can get really good seats. They have great family deals. Basketball games. Yeah, you got some courtside expenses. But when I went to go see the Pistons a couple years ago, 2 years ago, back at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, when we all went, I think we paid like $30, and we were up there, but it was great. We had a blast. You know, what's crazy? I bought for work. We had inventory. I bought 4 pumpkin spice lattes because it was the first day they were released, and I'm a basic white girl, so I bought 4 pumpkin spice lattes for everybody at work, for my people.
Yeah.
It's cheaper than getting 2 beers at a baseball game.
Yeah.
2 Miller Lights are the price of 4 pumpkin spice lattes. Come on, man.
I got one more to share with you. This is up Luke's alley. This
What I mean, it looks like he made it.
it's
What is
it's,
that? What is
it's
that?
called an oops waffle. It is a waffle drizzled with strawberry syrup and covered
No.
with Captain Crunch cereal.
Stop it. Stop. What is that? $25?
I think so. I think you're right. $25. And that's probably for about a 10-inch waffle.
I mean, it literally looks like when you go to your kids, like class, and they have art projects, and they're like, we had to design a menu. Look at this. And you're like, is that?
Amazing. You mentioned Little Caesars. Little Caesars is making a big comeback at the NFL stadiums. They want to have Little Caesars pizza in all the NFL stadiums. Now, it's probably the worst tasting but the cheapest pizza that's out there. It's like cheese on a cardboard. But if you order it locally, what do you get one for about $4, $5, $6?
No, right now, ever since COVID, they went up. So the $5 pizza is $6.
Okay. It's $12 at a football game.
Yeah, but it's not even the full-size pizza. It's the mini pizzas.
And it still tastes like cheese on cardboard.
I mean, look, I don't mind. You go to Little Caesars Arena, you get a slice. Yeah. Dude, it was the best slice I had in my life, But at least you could buy it by the slice there.
Yeah.
People don't realize this, especially people that aren't from Michigan. They don't realize that one time, Little Caesars was legit. They had a whole big different style pizzas. You could buy it by the slice. And then they were getting ready to go out of business because all the competition. And they said, we got to make $5 pizza. Boom, saved them. And now that's all they make, essentially.
Yeah. And when our kids were growing up and they played in Little League, I mean,
oh yeah,
it was at the end of the game, it was always Little Caesars pizza.
Little Caesars.
So if you had the franchise, you knew you were going to make money every weekend on the Little League baseball teams.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm excited to go to the game. It'll be fun. October 13th. I mean, it's in my favorite time of year. We're approaching the greatest time of year, except for Texas, because it's still 95.
And by the way, we could probably do a whole nother show on this, but do you know that there are some of the football critics that are picking the Lions and the Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl this year? They're saying this year is going to be the Lions' year. It's the Chiefs. The Chiefs are picked from the AFC side, but the Lions, Green Bay, even San Francisco and Philadelphia are sorry, Cowboys fans, but from our division, looks like Philadelphia may take the division again. But
man, I got to be honest with you. Look, I don't know. There's a lot of pressure on the Lions right now. They made some bad calls against the 49ers last year. They should have gone to the Super Bowl, but it is what it is. They had an amazing the turnaround of that team. What he has done to that team, I could go on about that, but Sports Illustrated did pick them to win the Super Bowl based on talent, who they came back, but it's all about health. I mean, you could literally have the best team in the world and then all of a sudden one injury, and your season's over. So
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
that's what the preseason is all about. Is you don't see your starters on the field because you're looking at all the second, third string quarterbacks that are out there, and your backup tight ends and all, because you want to see how they react on the field, because in a minute your first string guys can be wiped out.
Yeah, I'm not going to pick. I'm not going to predict. I don't do that.
Yeah.
I don't bet on my team. I don't. I'm not going to predict. I can't. We'll talk. Game 3, game 4, game 5. Maybe we'll talk halfway through the season. Talk
Yeah.
about it. See what's happening.
All right, we'll do it.
I'm a realist. But I will tell you this. I think if anybody thinks that the Lions aren't coming to fight, no, they got another thing coming. That is a tough Detroit team. They are not. They're going to play.
I think the Central Division is going to be one of the best divisions to watch for this season, because they all got contenders in there, so it's going to be a good division and a good.
I agree. I agree.
So, folks, if you go into the games, enjoy yourself, and I'll take out a second mortgage on the house before you leave, and just enjoy it, and then come back and see us again next week. All right.
Absolutely. See you guys.
Take care. Bye.